everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maple and I'm starting a new series where I'm going to be breaking down scenes, showing hidden details, or showing you things you might have missed while watching Arcane. Now, these are the details that I found in this episode, so if there's something I miss, let me know in the comments below. Alright, let's get into this video. Episode 1 is titled Welcome to the Playground, which is based on this song. This song is sung by Bia Miller. If you haven't seen the video, I highly recommend it. The music video has so many details pertaining to the Arcane series, specifically to this episode. I did do a breakdown of the music video. The link is in the description below. Alright, let's start with the first detail. The title Welcome to the Playground is titled after a song in the episode. Just like Season 2, Episode 1, Heavy is the Crown. There's a lot of parallels between both episodes, but this is the first one I've noticed. This bridge is called the Bridge of Progress. Did you know that this bridge is shown in every single episode in Season 1? There are 2 episodes that the bridge is not shown, but the battle in this opening sequence is mentioned. We also meet our first 2 characters, Vi and Powder. Vi is a champion in the game, and Powder, who later becomes Jinx, is also a champion in the game. The song in the background is being sung by Powder. You can tell this by her lips moving. This song does come back in future episodes. This sequence is being played out from Powder's point of view because you can see the graffiti on the faces, which is something in the future about her character you come to recognize. Then we meet Vander. I believe this shot is a foreshadowing to him becoming Warwick in Season 2. You can see the similarities, Vander with the red smoke around him, and Warwick in Season 2 with the red smoke. Also, this shot of Vander looking back may be familiar to you, as Vi uses this look a lot in future episodes, Season 1, Episode 4, and in Season 2, Episode 8. The only difference in this shot is Vander is looking over his right shoulder, which makes me believe that he is right-handed, and Vi, who is confirmed left-handed, is looking over her left shoulder. In the next shot, Vi and Powder's mother, whom we find out later on is named Felicia, I wanted to point out her eyes. They have a glimmer to them. Now, all characters' eyes have a glimmer, but whenever a character dies, the glimmer in their eyes fades away. Felicia is dead in this scene, so her eyes shouldn't have this glimmer. I believe this is an animation error, as there's no evidence that Felicia is still alive. I wanted to point out this necklace on Vi, because this necklace comes back in a couple episodes. You see it on Powder in an alternate universe, and in a Vander flashback. In this next scene, Vi isn't wearing this necklace. So what happened to this necklace? I mean, this necklace could have been returned to Vander after this battle, but Vander isn't wearing it in the next scene either. There's a possibility that they sell it, because Vi does say, but I feel like this necklace would have some sentimental value as it does originate from Vander. Could be also a prediction of how Vi will become like Vander, because future Vi has a lot of details that incorporate Vander in her style and in her look. I understand Powder in the alternate universe wearing it, because it represents Vi after her death. But how did alternate universe Powder get the necklace? Because if she got the necklace from Vi after her death, then Vi would have been wearing it when she died in the explosion. I mean, it's also possible that Vi hid it somewhere that only her and Powder knew, and then Powder went to go get it after her death. I also want to point out that there's a possibility that Vi is wearing the necklace in the alternate universe. At the time of the explosion, we can't clearly see her neck, so we don't know if she's wearing the necklace or not. I'm just going based on where she's not wearing the necklace before the explosion. But this necklace has been a bit of a mystery to me. that I couldn't figure out. So if you have any theories to what happened to this necklace, I would love to hear it. I just wanted to point it out because it does come back in future episodes. This next detail, Vander drops the gloves, meaning he's no longer willing to fight just to take care of his newly adopted daughters. This will play out in the next few scenes as Vander has to deal with enforcers to ensure protection for his people, including his daughters. Him no longer willing to fight will play out against Silco at the end of Act 1. I just wanted to point out this detail because it does come back. Vi's hatred of the enforcers and Piltover begins here, which will play out into her character arc throughout the series. The parallel is that Vi hating the enforcers in this scene then becomes an enforcer at the end of Season 2, Episode 1. I do also want to point out that Vi becoming an enforcer is also part of her champion storyline, as she is known as the Piltover Enforcer. I'm not going to do a breakdown of the intro because I've already done that on a separate video, which I will link in the description below. So if you have a chance, go check that out. The first shot of Vi we see wraps. Now, as a previous Muay Thai fighter myself, I noticed these right away and knew Vi is going to be a fighter, which is something she wears in every single scene she's in, except at the end in Season 2, Episode 9. This is a clear indication that she's a fighter, which in her champion profile, her role is a fighter.
Oh, it's nice getting above it all, huh?
In the next scene, we see the gang looking over Piltover. What a shot. Absolutely beautiful and stunning. Now, I know you know where I'm going with this next line.
One day, I'm gonna ride in one of those things.
Now, before I saw the ending of the series, I knew from this very line that this was a foreshadowing. And there's other clues in this very episode that support this theory. But I'm showing you this scene because I do also believe Jinx is alive. But I'll talk more about that in the last episode where Jinx's fate is in question.
Don't look down.
In this next clip, you see cupcakes.
You're hot, Cupcake. You gonna help me out, Cupcake? But you're so sweet. Like a cupcake. It's been real, Cupcake. Don't sugarcoat it, Cupcake. I am the dirt under your nails, Cupcake.
Sorry, my brain goes nuts when I see cupcakes or any references to the Kate Vi or Violin ship. Whichever you call it, I prefer Violin, but I know Kate Vi is more popular. Anyways, I wanted to point out that these are the same cupcakes Caitlyn, the League of Legends character, has as her ability called Yordle Snaptrap. Now, I will let you know that I am not a League of Legends player. I did do some research on lore and the abilities of some characters in Arcane, and I will try to include as much as I can. I also wanted to point out that Caitlyn doesn't make an appearance in this episode, so I thought it was a nice nod to her character.
Thanks.
This scene reminds me a lot of the finale. Vi is using the same arm to prevent Powder and Jinx from falling. I do believe this is a foreshadowing to the end of the series.
You gonna get that door open anytime soon?
Working on it. Seeing as I'm the only one who knows how to pick locks, I suggest... Animals.
We know Arcane creators love their parallel, and trust me, there's a lot of them in my breakdowns. The parallel is that the word animals is used in this episode and in Season 2, Episode 1.
A memorial? What kind of animals?
Both Milo and Caitlyn are talking about Zonites. Alright, this next scene sequence may take a bit because I saw a lot of details in Jace's apartment, and a lot of things are going to be coming back into play in future episodes. So let's start with the first one. Powder discovered this horse. Now this horse might be familiar if you've seen the Get Jinx video, I will also be doing a breakdown of that video and I will add it to the description below. Also, this horse does come back into play in Season 2, Episode 4. Powder also discovers this Veldiani, which also comes back in Season 1, Episode 9. But I wanted to point out that the little planet in the middle is Runeterra, which is the planet that these characters are on. It's also surrounded by 3 moons, which I thought was a really cool detail. In the next shot, there's blueprints on the table, which is a map of Runeterra. Not sure on the other details, but it does look like some kind of formula. Milo then discovers this device. I'm not sure what it's called, but I called it a rune table. This rune table is actually later used at the end of this act by Jason Victor, and it's also one of the items Jinx stole in Act 2. Alright, then Powder moves into what I'm assuming is Jace's bedroom, because there's a bed there. I did want to point out this book in the background, because it reminds me so much of the TV series Charmed. For those who haven't seen the show, it's about sister witches who have magical powers, and they do spells from a book called the Book of Shadows. I don't know if the Arcane animators meant to put this symbol on this book as a shout out to the Charmed show. I doubt it. But I just wanted to point it out because it was something I noticed right away when doing this breakdown. There is some correlation to the Charmed show because it is about magic, and the Arcane series is also about magic. In each episode, I'm going to be doing a deep dive on scenes in that episode, so please bear with me because I'm going to be doing a deep dive about this symbol. This symbol is called the Triquetra, also known in different religion or cultures as the Holy Trinity, Triple Moon Goddess, Balance, Family, etc. The Triquetra's description says the triple moon, remember me mentioning that Runeterra has 3 moons surrounding it? It also says that it represents the threefold nature of the goddess, as a maiden, mother, and crone. Now, how does this correlate to Powder? Well, I have a theory about that. A maiden means youth, Powder. Mother means nurturing, taking care or caring for Isha like a mother or sister. And a crone means wisdom, willing to break the cycle of violence. There's another theory I thought of. The description says the circle signifies the ever-turning cycle of life, death, and rebirth. You can also look at it this way, pertaining to Powder, life, death, and rebirth, or life, death, and rebirth. The Triquetra is also a sign of female empowerment, which we all know Powder and Jinx represent that in the coming episodes. But I believe that this symbol was put here in this scene for a specific reason. The one thing I love about this show is that you can deep dive into any little thing. Let me know what you think about this symbol because I'm curious to know what you think it signifies. Alright, let's get back to the details. In the next shot, you can see where the sandwiches are in the background. There's a blueprint. It looks like it's Jace's hammer. And I couldn't really tell what the other blueprint was, but it does kind of look like the Atlas gauntlets, which Vi will have in the future. You can see the circle thing, which looks like it, but I'm not 100% sure on this one. The next clip I want to show you, when Powder opens the chest holding the gem crystals, you can see her eyes highlighted blue. Something you might notice throughout the series is that whenever a gem crystal is being used, the person using the weapon, their eyes will highlight blue. I will point this out in the coming episodes. Now, I have 2 theories about this shot. It could be showing the beginning of her using the gem crystals, or it could also be a prediction of her eyes turning blue, because in the previous scene, you can see her eyes are currently gray. In this next shot, you can see we have 6 gem crystals. Remember this number. I will be crossing them out as they're being used. And a little foreshadowing, there is 1 crystal that actually goes missing at the end of Act 1. But I will explain that more in my breakdown of Episode 3. But just remember right now we have 6 gem crystals in possession. We find out in episode 2 that Jace is actually the one on the other side of this door, but the gang gets interrupted, so they have to hurry up and leave. You can see Powder quickly grabbing all 6 gemstones. She accidentally, and I do believe unknowingly, drops one. So now Powder has 5 crystals in her possession. If you slow down the explosion, you can see the explosion almost consume Vi, which in an alternate universe, you can see how she could have gotten killed. That's all the details I found in this part 1. Please check out part 2 next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you at the next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye.